Hello friends! Some people ask me why I don't talk much about currency readjustment, and the truth is that I don't have reliable sources, although there are positive signs and the political situation is not good at the moment. Opinion piece. Will the truth be revealed to all? Everyone is talking about the big revelation coming soon. The timeline collapsed in January 2018. Trust yourself and not the predictions. Following outside sources can lead to disappointment. The key to ascension is inward focus. I am light, I am love, I am truth, I am. Everyone chooses what reality they experience at this time. The full disclosure event will be the culmination of all. The Great Reset of Davos is failing according to Rinus Verhagen. Council of Europe bans states from compulsory inoculation. Earth's drama is a confrontation of three angelic legions. There are two legions of regressive beings, the Anunnaki and the Draconians. There are 5 methods of strategic invasion by negative beings. The elements of control are fear, disinformation, and the pleasure-pain principle. What we see is a movie of what has already happened in higher dimensions. Let's start. Intelligence information cannot be published right now for various reasons. Both conventional and alternative media are almost completely dominated by disinformation and by blindly following outside sources that can only lead to deception. In addition, the sources of information that do exist now are not entirely reliable. Since the collapse of the Alpha timeline in January 2018, details of the planetary release plan cannot and will not be published anywhere on the internet, as reported by the 2012 portal of the Intelligence Center for the Victory's Flight in a brief message to the savage population dated Thursday, January 28th. This same message repeats that planetary liberation doesn't depend on who is the president of the US, although it is true that it would be easier with a blonde than with a grey haired one. But it's the higher purpose for people to reduce polarization, separate from daily politics, and begin to connect with the light. The full update of the situation will be posted on this portal only when our authorization is given. Revelation. However, a supposed message from the Galactic Federation channeled by Inger Noren, aka Sitara, states that the Great Revelation is coming sometime during these days. The Federation Councils have agreed that people are mature enough to hear what happened at the polls. Regardless of when this announcement is released, it will be a shock to people. Darkness can threaten whatever it wants, but the message will be released to everyone. We know that many people are disappointed that this revelation hasn't been published yet, but it must still be the right time and place to publish something as serious as this revelation. Everything follows the divine plan and everything is as it should be. No matter what you try to do, people need to know what has happened during eons of dark time on this planet. The divine master of your planet has decided that it doesn't matter when this revelation comes to the people. It becomes just as shocking no matter when it comes out, and the sooner the better for everyone. The Dark Ones still know that they have lost this battle because the light has won. This will be presented to the people through a channel that the media will not be able to stop or manipulate in any way. There is feverish work going on into the council and behind the scenes to get this out as soon as possible, and all the indications are that this must take priority now, because people must open their eyes and wake up to what is happening in their country, but also in the universe. We must keep this, because if there are further delays because of the darkness, it may be a long time before it will be possible to fulfill this commitment to the people. It is very urgent, and people have deserved to know what has happened in your lifetime and in all your previous lives. It will be painful information, and you, the light workers, must be prepared and help and support people who are very confused about all this that is happening now in your life. You have a very big task ahead of you. Probably at times it can be very difficult, especially when you yourself are shocked by the revelations that are coming. No one can imagine what is coming, and everyone will be affected in some way. Stand in your light and repeat many times with the intention to say, I am light, I am love, I am truth, I am. Then you are anchored in your light in a safe way. I repeat the mantra, I am light, I am love, I am truth, I am. Inner focus. The key to ascension is inward focus, according to a message from the Blue Avians channeled by Kate Utley. What is a great disturbance right now is that many people are focusing on particular processes, on specific predictions that are very detailed, that are anchored in politics, and that focus on individuals of high rank and power and the role that they have to play on Earth. It is very, very important that we take this opportunity to remind humanity not to pin their hopes and their personal ascension journey on specific events and the unfolding of specific events outside of themselves. You cannot control what happens to a specific individual, whether they are of the light or not, when it will occur, or how things will be unfold. What you need is to tune back in and focus on themselves, on yourself, I mean. For it is the inner spiritual journey that will set you all free. I repeat, it's the spiritual journey what will set you all free. Freedom must be found and unlocked at the individual level. It cannot be expected from situations outside of an individual. Again, by focusing on these specific events, how and when they will unfold, and the specific outcomes, you will be giving their power away to something external, but you have all the power you need within yourself. Don't focus on specific predictions. Focus on your own journey, which is at this time for many, as you are at different stages of your respective awakenings. For some of you, the journey is about letting go of patterns, memories, and experiences that have kept your frequency and emotions very low. It is about breaking through and releasing what was held you back for too long. Trust yourself and not predictions. It is about taking back your freedom, your power, doing your inner work, trusting more in yourself and less in circumstances outside yourself. Focus less on specific predictions, as they can be wrong and change from day to day. This is a multi-dimensional chess game, and as such, it is very difficult for any person or number of higher dimensional beings to predict exactly how it will unfold. What you must focus on is that we, the forces of light, win the chess game. Don't concentrate on the next move or the next two moves. Focus on your position on the spiritual level on the chessboard. There are several realities. According to the Arcturian Council, all realities are real and all truths are true. Everyone is choosing which reality they are experiencing at this moment, and in doing so, they are choosing which reality they are moving into next. People keep arguing about what is true right now, but those people think that there is only one reality that everyone is supposed to agree on as their one true reality, in quotes. Now, it is true that you can focus on a reality that you are not currently experiencing. But if that is the case, then that reality better be one that you want to experience, because if you are putting your attention on it, then it's coming. The light has won. The swamp and the sinister players in the board game. The swamp are the sinister players in the board game. They are fighting against the ascension and crystallization of human DNA. They do this by lying to you, primarily trying to hold the negative energies on Earth, because that was what the humans were doing. They were the holders of the negative energies, and they create this state within you by intoxicating what you consume and your mind with television. So they have a last resort to fall back on, and that is to try to use the event against humanity, slowing down your progress and making sure that when the last photonic light burst hits the Earth, it kills you instead of freeing you because you are not ready. The light has won. What is being played out now is only a movie of what has already occurred in higher dimensions. You are experiencing this movie in your third density, fourth and even fifth dimension, and it is simply a choice of how much of the movie you wish to experience. You can sit back and realize that everything is fine, or you can engage in fear. It's your choice, and everything is a lesson. Where you have not prepared yourself, you are now destined to experience, as will the rest of humankind on Earth. Full disclosure event. According to the Ascension Dictionary, the so-called full disclosure event refers to the highest level of disclosure to Earth humans, revealing the most detailed scenarios of our true hidden galactic human history, and not the regressive beings' manipulated version of the Archontic deception strategy used to control the major historical records to enslave the human population since the Sumerian Egyptian invasion. Humans would be informed beyond simple knowledge of existence of beings from other worlds, their starships, and secret cooperation agreements made with world governments. In addition, human beings would be re-educated to know about the regressive groups of beings, secret space programs, human trafficking, mind control, transhumanism, and artificial intelligence plans of on-planet and off-planet genetic DNA manipulation programs, and how Earth human resources and technology are used as a barter for exchange with a variety of off-planet beings and civilizations. The full disclosure event includes the revelation of the elite power groups and negative aliens who have abused power on Earth and are compelled to restore the energy balance to make amends for the crimes they have committed against humankind. Different extraterrestrial races and their guardianship and genetic modification programs, breeding programs, secret military laboratories, transhumanism, and other extraterrestrial agendas malevolent and benevolent, are involved in Earth's grand experiments in consciousness, co-evolution, and polarity integration in our universe. Galactic wars, galactic history, and hidden extraterrestrial involvement on Earth, and how they have used the veil of secrecy to manipulate and influence all human affairs, societies, and belief systems of the world through social experimentation. Advanced technologies. In addition, advanced hidden technologies will be made available that would completely change the Earth's three-dimensional paradigm by revealing free energy and power systems, reversing aging and disease, the end of poverty and slavery, clean air, food, water, etc. If more people had access to this information without being threatened, assaulted, or persecuted, it would allow many more people to come out and tell the truth. By withholding this information and continuing to promote lies and deception, it allows people working to support ascension or disclosure-related issues to continue to be harassed, attacked, intimidated, and even brutalized. This is another reason of why disclosure is so important. It would remove a huge burden of threats and attacks for those of us who support disclosure of the population of this planet. If people had disclosure information, they would be much more willing to be open to understanding the laws of nature, and also be able to see how the current culture of death was designed to violate those laws in order to enslave the people. Much of what we see harming people in the world today could be stopped with just a little common sense and the ability to reduce some selfishness and greed. Governments will be replaced in the future by spiritual people who will focus only on helping others. They will be much smaller than they are now, and will be run by small groups to maintain balance in the community of wealth. In the near future, you will begin to receive information about your guides and mentors. They will appear in your dreams, in channeling, or in a direct message that will come from them. Their task is to guide you through this ascension process. Your body is still in the process of moving into a new reality and requires many adjustments because we cannot take this body into the fifth dimension as it is now. The trauma of Earth. Fear, the pleasure-pain principle, and misinformation are the common control elements by which Illuminates and humans are easily tricked into giving their power to something outside of themselves. Once this outside source has their power, compliance with that source's approval becomes implicitly the only way to feel empowered. The reality of our current trauma means that there are hordes of sleeping, amnesiac Illuminate beings and ordinary people who are currently victims of psychotronic mind control. Earth's drama is the three-way confrontation between the guardian angelic nations and the two regressive factions of the two legions of Anunnaki and Draconian fallen angels, vying for their own plan for control of Earth's human population, for Earth's real estate territories, and for the Stargate halls of Amenti. The halls of Amenti are Earth's star portals that connect to other planets within the four densities of our time matrix. All guardian races of Earth are considered Amenti races, created 25 million years ago. The halls of Amenti are 6 passages that access the portals of time within the Amenti sphere, which, when opened, allow teleported ascension from Earth to other planets. The portals are part of the Christ grid within the morphogenetic field of the Amenti sphere, and are known as the halls of Amenti. They are dimensional passages through which one must pass to ascend from Earth outside the matrix of time and dimensional reality. The self-interest of the Anunnaki in their intended agenda of New World Order dominance and the subsequent seizure of the stargates of the Amenti halls requires the temporary use of humans to open the security seals of Earth's stargates, which the fallen angels cannot fully access without the angelic human biology of 12 plus 1 strands of DNA. Invasion methods. Strategic invasion methods of regressive beings. The strategy of occulting deception is employed to make humans succumb to the ownership of the invasive species. The main strategy is the download of their predatory mind, which is their thought form, and hypnotize the human body to accept these occultic behaviors are normal and socially acceptable. The more reptilian genetics a human being has, the more acceptable it is for him to cheat, manipulate, take advantage of the less privileged, and even kill, murder, rape, and have illicit sex. Personal ownership of human beings and domination of earthly resources are accomplished using this method. First one. The negative alien agenda uses the strategy of occultic deception as world policy for mind control enslavement that is enforced by the power elite, who are mostly alien hybrids. Second, human hybridization hosting programs for multiple reptiloid species in subway and off-planet bases, military laboratories and related secret space program cooperating with negative aliens who intentionally deceive, manipulate, and experiment on the public. Genetic modification. Third. Genetic modification, disease, augmentation, and technological experimentation with the human genome. Fourth, alien machinery implants, synthetic timelines, consciousness traps, psychotronics warfare technology, artificial intelligence, created from genetic replication and holding advanced off-planet technology. Fifth, spiritual possession and multiple soul occupants to harvest life force for a variety of purposes from negative beings and on and off planet. Short news. The Great Davos reboot is failing according to Rinus Verhagen. China abandons the Great Reboot operation. The globalism of elites expressed in the book Great Restoration by Klaus Schwab, president of the World Economic Forum in Davos, is failing. China will not impose any world order because its president doesn't want. It will limit itself to economic expansion like any commercial empire. Social media users abandon Twitter and Facebook. Many people abandoned certain platforms, the most common being Facebook 43%, Twitter 32%, and Instagram 16%. The most common reasons for leaving the platform were censorship and bias. According to Rafa Pal, General Flynn announces historic moments that would begin in the next few days. He says they would unfold over the next 2 weeks to a month, which could be interpreted to mean that the biggest thing would happen in 2 weeks, but would last for a month. But this is only a personal opinion. Natural defense against the bug found. The melatonin hormone produced in the lungs acts as a barrier against the pathogen. These conclusions were reached by scientists at the universities of Sao Paulo in Brazil. The scientists found that the melatonin acts as a barrier, preventing the expression of genes encoding proteins in cells, such as macrophages, residing in the nose and lung alveoli and epithelial cells lining the alveoli, all of which are entry points for the bug. The Council of Europe has published a resolution on inoculation that urges states to provide information on non-compulsory injection and non-discrimination against those who do not want to do so. A resolution published on January 27th, this month, says to ensure that citizens are informed that injection are not compulsory, and that no one is not compulsory, and that no one is pressured politically, socially, and otherwise to be inoculated if they do not want to be. Ensure that no one is discriminated against because they have not been inoculated because of possible health risks or because they do not want to be injected. Germany estimates that the shortage of injectables will last about 10 weeks. The German government estimates that the current shortage of inoculation may last about 10 weeks. Germany's Commerzbank announces cuts of 10,000 jobs under a restructuring program aimed at increasing digitalization and reducing branches and costs. Bei pledged allegiance to the New World Order in an article he wrote in 1992 in the Wall Street Journal op-ed entitled "How I Learned to Love the New World Order." Then, a senator from Delaware, he explained his plans to cede U.S. sovereignty to the United Nations and establish a world government by breathing life into the UN Charter. Trump will be involved in Republican politics and not interested in a third party. And Aide said he will not actively involved in Republican Party politics going forward. The president continues to have enormous support and approval among Republican primary voters. He continues to have hundreds of millions of dollars in his campaign account, which he can use, and he will continue to be actively involved in recruiting candidates and holding elected officials accountable for their votes. Corey Lewandowski, a former campaign manager, told Fox News on Thursday. That's the last. God's plan is the same as it has always been, and history will repeat itself now. God's plan is to destroy tyrants at the second coming. He will end the encirclement and destroy the tyrannical governments that are actually praising and worshipping Lucifer. These same tyrannical governments are forcing us to take signs and symbols of the beasts. These evil tyrants are forcing us to do their witchcraft, hand-washing and muscle-wearing rituals. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.